The state of Indian filmmaking will be nowhere today without the pioneering and audacious filmmakers that crafted the industry to its heights. Of the many greats, Sanjay Leela Bhansali is one of the living legends that is actively moving the industry forward by pushing the boundaries in all aspects of filmmaking, whether it be from writing the story to directing the actors, from establishing the lens choice to the precise color he wants to capture. He is a master of symmetry and a musical genius. A Bhansali film is no ordinary film. It is a symphony of tragedy, deep emotions, vibrance, dance, love, and death. A true pinnacle of extraordinary filmmaking and a special gift to the world. Born in South Mumbai in 1963, Sanjay Bhansali was exposed to the industry at a very young age. His father was a small-time music composer in the city, while his mother sewed clothes for a living to make ends meet. Living in Mumbai, the birthplace of Bollywood and Indian cinema, Bhansali had every child's dream of becoming the biggest filmmaker in the city. He started off his career as an assistant director to the legendary V.V. Chopra while filming the 90s hit classic 1942 A Love Story. After the film was released in 1984 and due to a fallout over creative direction, Bhansali left the set of their next film together, Kareeb, to journey off into creating his own style and a name for himself. This is also when Sanjay Bhansali started going by the name Sanjay Leela Bhansali, named after his mother, Leela. In 1986, Bhansali released his directorial debut, Khamoshi, the musical, but it was not received well by the audience. It was a flop, but Bhansali did not give up hope, as it was the first steps towards the style he was working towards. So in 1999, he released another film, Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, which gained some commercial success, but not enough to establish Bhansali as a prominent director. And then came the film that gave us Bhansali, Devdas. In order to understand Bhansali's style, it is important to know how he got there. The first two films were his way of paving into the industry as a filmmaker. Devdas created Bhansali, the filmmaker. All the different styles and variations he has utilized in almost 30 years of his filmmaking career derive and expand upon from this one movie. From the poetry to the lens and the color schemes, shot motivations, signature styles, and musical composition, all using Devdas as the blueprint. Every Bhansali film starts and is centered around a deep, emotionally filled tragedy. Every film he writes is a love story. He loves to play with the trope of the love triangle. He believes love to be the central motivation to life, and when you put situational characters in unimaginable circumstances, it is beautiful to see their motivation unfold. When two characters fall in love, leaving a third, now they must navigate through life with the uncertainty of what lies ahead. All of Bhansali's stories are also from a different time. He loves to play with period pieces and cultural set design. His love for extravagant set design comes from his childhood inspiration, Raj Kapoor, the greatest showman of India and the father of the studios of Bollywood in Mumbai. The unique story helps create the set and build the setting of a Bhansali film. Bhansali's set design is carefully crafted to fit the visual and cultural narrative he is trying to showcase. The sets utilize historical accuracy and cultural symbolism to narrate a different point in time. The sets are grand with great detail, but also visually motivated. Bhansali is very specific on what he wants the audience to see at any given moment, so the shots are also not at random. Bhansali values symmetry and many times is compared as the Wes Anderson of Indian cinema. He's very keen on balancing the frame with everything shown in the shot. Not only provides for a visually satisfying scene, but also appreciation for the acting and choreography by the talent that balances the shot. Alongside a symmetrical set design, Bhansali is specific on the shade and vibrance of a color the viewer sees and how it makes them feel. Bhansali masterfully utilizes color to help you feel what the character is feeling on screen. He utilizes the relationship between the color wheel to help the viewers understand the range of emotion the protagonist and the antagonist feel. He will many times use colors that are adjacent or next to each other to solidify the closeness of two characters. We can see this utilized in Devdas with the colors red and yellow, where Paro and Chandramukhi dance together, solidifying a union. And the same technique is used in Bajirao Mastani with Kashi and Mastani. Similarly, Bhansali utilizes complementary colors to single out characters from a crowd, and many times attach the protagonist to their environment. Bhansali uses color to showcase elegance and class, contrasting it with savagery and impurity. Lastly, when it comes to color, Bhansali creates a theme for the viewers to stay within. In the film Savarya, the whole film is shot with a seemingly blue tint to showcase the dreamy state the main character was living in. In Black, the film is shot with many shadows and dark frames to help the audience understand the character's issue with blindness. Similarly, Devdas was shot with themes of red to signify marriage and passion, but also the one thing the protagonist lacked, love. Every speck of color caught on frame by Bhansali is carefully and purposefully motivated. When it comes to conversation and camera placement, Bhansali is quite particular in letting you know who is important in the scene and what you should be paying attention to. When there's a person of power, we see them from a low angle looking down at us, or when the character is in their headspace, the depth of field in the background is shallow. Bhansali's camera placement is always intentional and fills the frame completely. In dialogue sequences along with the basic coverage, Bhansali tends to capture extra shots to add to his scenes. He also utilizes props and set decorations to his advantage to add depth between his characters. Bhansali loves to play with our eyes by tricking us into thinking that the characters in the scene are either close to each other or further away. We can see this in many instances when he utilizes the telephoto lens to make us feel two characters that are right next to each other seem far far away. He does this in Bajirao Mastani when Bajirao confronts his wife Kashi after she sees him making love to Mastani in the Mirror Palace. Despite them standing and sitting right next to each other, they feel far apart. Inversely, in a confrontation scene in Ram Leela, we can see that despite two characters being far apart in the room, they seem to be right in front of each other. Despite having the whole world between them, Ram and Leela still loved each other, and even in a conversation full of hate, they are shown to be much closer. Bhansali films are all dramatic love stories, so playing with the depth of field to define the characters' relationship is a staple of his dialogue scenes. Bhansali also loves to utilize a dynamic range of lenses throughout his films. During his dialogue scenes, he uses many telephoto lenses to fill the space creatively. However, the scene isn't complete without a wide pullback or push-in. To start a dramatic scene, there's a character walk-in that usually shot on a wide. However, the ending of the dramatic scene is left with a wide frame within a frame. Bhansali uses this method when characters are left alone after a quick turn of events. The events usually indicate that the character is now alone from their world and must act differently, and usually a betrayal from the norm. The wide frame within a frame has been used a multitude of times by Bhansali, almost all of them to dramatically end a scene. Now, a Bhansali film is not complete without poetic expression. From the dialogue to the music to the dances, each of the fine arts are carefully put together to craft an extravagant story. Unlike the music industry in America, the music industry in India grew simultaneously with film. Films provided avenues to create new music, and every film came with a 6 to 10 song album. The songs are connected to the film's background score and are all individual music videos of their own as well. The songs are usually centered around the theme of the film and are extensions of the character's feeling. The music videos that are created with the songs in the film are driven by the current narrative in the film and show us an intimate side of the character. This method of filmmaking has actually not been properly introduced in Hollywood, and can be said that Bhansali has mastered the art of musical composition in film. Sanjay Leela Bhansali is a brilliant filmmaker from India who has utilized his cultural Gujarati background to showcase a different side of the world in a beautiful, rich, colorful, audacious way, dodging all repercussions and negativity that came along his path. He has given the world a unique gift with his style of filmmaking, inspiring many young filmmakers to journey through their own roots and create larger-than-life stories. It is an honor to live at the prime of his time and follow the journey as we go on. And if there is anything to take away from Bhansali's life here, it is that through great perseverance and sheer audacity, we receive the greatest gifts of our grit.